I was 17, way back in 1966. This whole story of this musical actually started back then, because that's when I met and fell in love with an engineering student at university, and I took him home to meet my parents, not realizing what kind of mess that was going to create. And the story went from there. So it's been a long time in the making.
Dandelions in the Wind is a story about an interracial couple who fall in love during the civil rights era. What's so special about Dandelions in the Wind is part of it is actually true. They lived in the UK when he was beat up by skinheads, and she was 5 months pregnant with their third child when he succumbed to his injuries. He didn't die in the UK, he actually died in Canada when they moved here.
I really had to dig deep and go back to places that I hadn't revisited for a long time. A lot of pain, a lot of emotion, a lot of anger, and I had to access all that in order to create the lyrics and the characters and to make it all believable. And oh my gosh, our actors playing the two key roles of Ben and Sarah, who are standing in for me and my husband, they are just awesome. And I have been in tears just watching them.
We'll live our dream.
You're just one person. What can you do?
If we stand together, we can change the system.
Keisha and I did the auditions together, and I couldn't have picked a better person to play me. She has such sensitivity, and yet there's the joy and the innocence and the naivety in her. And I know in 1966, I was very naive. I didn't realize the power of the racism out there. My parents were trying to protect me from all that. Didn't realize how bad it was going to be.
I'm not going to miss another day. She's still my daughter and I love her.
We started the casting back in May. There was just something special about each person. It has been just an amazing time. Like, everybody just works so well together.
When I first wrote the music for the story, and when I first had the concept in my head, it was actually a civil rights era musical. The storyline was about Martin Luther King and his wife Coretta, and that was the love relationship in the story. After it was done in England, and it was very successful in England, and I reached out to the King Foundation to get a license to carry it forward, they wouldn't give me a license. Kids these days don't really know very much about the civil rights era. They know about Martin Luther King, they know about Rosa Parks, they know that it was something about a bus. They know, the first sentence of the I Have a Dream speech, but that's about it. And I wanted to tell them more about all the injustice and about the courage and bravery of the everyday people that were brave enough to stand up and say, no.
I think in light of what's happening now politically, especially south of the border, a lot of the young people are like, what's going on? And they know that this is wrong, and they feel that this is wrong. So a lot of the response that we're getting is like, that freaked me out when that happened, right? Through this musical, by people seeing that this actually happened to somebody, this is not a fairy tale. We want people to start a conversation, especially the young children. We want them to say, this is not right. We don't like this, and stand up.
I want people to be able to see the pain and think, put it into their own context. What if this was me? What if this was my daughter? The whole production, I wanted to make it very applicable to today's youth, because although it's a story that's set 50 years ago and more, I didn't want it to be historical.
We can no longer stay in the dark or hide under the sheets in regards to what is going on. But it's just heartbreaking to see all those children on screen that have passed away for what? Because the color of their skin? It's been such an honor to work with Jennifer over the past 2 years. I'm having a blast. I'm living a dream I never thought that would come about, and I'm just so happy to be doing it.
I want to raise another generation of activists, especially with what's happening south of the border. This is the perfect time because people are beginning to stand up and say, no, we're not going to accept this. We're going to stand up for what we believe is right. Now, I'm not just talking about racism. There's all sorts of things that people are standing up for now. I'd like if my legacy was I've touched younger people and have made them turn towards activism, making a stand, making the world a better place, because that's what I always wanted to do.